This video is not intended for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Humanity, look how far you've fallen.
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and fury of anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brother.
Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Mornings of Mischief. I'm your host, Stone Loki. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to Mike Beaks Dix. Good morning to Snorta Boobas Cuber, Purple Valkyrie, Windology, Dave G Sound, the Lady Arwen Avalon, Project Storytime, Mark the Infinitely Tired, and Chris Persia. The Bash Brother Wrenches are here. A Dega Outlaw, the Doctor of Disaster and Destruction, is here, ladies and gentlemen. Psychodorf Nod! Good morning, brother. The Rooster in the Henhouse, Dave Bob, is here. I probably already said that. Mary's Gamer, good morning, Mary. How are you doing? Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are having a great morning. Nearsighted Cyclops, good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Pat S., good morning, sir. Larry, Keith Movie Geek. Good morning, Keith Movie Geek. Good morning, everyone. And with me today on our Wednesday Women of the Fandom is Kayleigh D. Good morning, Kayleigh.
Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm good.
Good. So tell us what was the first fandom you were ever in? Was it Star Wars, Star Trek? Was it Lord of the Rings? What was the first thing you remember getting attached to and becoming a fan of?
I think it was like Lord of the Rings, because I have like two older brothers and two older sisters, and I went to the movies like when I was a little kid to go see Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, and who was your favorite character in Lord of the Rings?
So my favorite character, I'd probably say Aragorn is my favorite character.
The dashing rogue Aragorn, son of Arathorn.
Yep.
Who would you say your second is? Your second favorite?
Probably Gandalf.
Gandalf the White or Gandalf the Gray?
I think the Gray.
The Gray, yeah, yes. The hobbits. Tell me something about hobbits. Yes, absolutely. Hello, get along, little hobbit. Of course, I love Lord of the Rings. I never get to talk about Lord of the Rings because there's nothing much ever to talk about Lord of the Rings except for the Amazon series, and we all know how that's going to go. Purple Valkyrie says, hell yes, Lord of the Rings. Arwen Avalon, Lord of the Rings, can't go wrong with Aragorn. From Arwen Avalon. my favorite was always Gandalf. I always thought Gandalf was the best, and it ripped my heart out when I thought he died. You know, spoiler alert! If anybody hasn't read Lord of the Rings or seen Lord of the Rings, I always like it. Always ripped my heart out when I thought he died. But then he comes back as Gandalf the White, and you're like, yeah, he's even more cool now.
Yeah, I never really understood that scene though. Cause like I was like thought like yeah he was like dead or something, and then he was alive again.
Yeah, it was the powers that be, the powers that sent the wizards there. They decided to send him back because it wasn't his time to go yet.
Yeah, I just thought it was like kind of confusing, even though.
kind of. I do know that Tolkien based some of what he wrote on things he read in the Bible. So, for certain religions, it would almost be like the Son of God returning. So
Okay.
the resurrection. A lot of what he wrote came from his experience in World War One and his friendships and his religion.
That's cool.
So, what brought you here? I mean, we talked about like your first fandom, the first thing you ever got into. But what brought you here? What brought you into this fandom?
Like the whole community.
Yeah, like the community
Thing, like or like the fandom. Okay.
Would you, either or either one.
Okay. I just like watching live streams and yeah.
Okay.
Explain things.
On your icons, I see it says Gina.
Yeah, so I liked watching The Mandalorian. So the whole thing with Star Wars, I wasn't sure I was gonna watch The Mandalorian because like one, I didn't really think of getting Disney Plus, so I can watch The Mandalorian because my oldest brother, but also because the Star Wars movies, like the latest ones, they were like really disappointing, and the fact that they kind of just hate on fans, it kind of made me like not trust Star Wars. I was like, didn't know if I would ever like Star Wars again. And then I watched The Mandalorian, and it gave me some hope. And then Gina Carano got fired, and then I was like, screw Disney and screw Star Wars.
Yes, absolutely. I'm right there with you. I feel exactly the same way. Mandalorian started to give you some hope. Maybe they're going to turn this around. Maybe they're going to change some things. And then they fired Gina and did what they did there. And yeah. After having such a great second season too. Project Storytime says Kayleigh is a sweetheart. Yeah. And Arwen Avalon loves your shirt. And
Thank
Purple
you.
says, love Kayleigh's friendship with Gina Carano. So Gina's kind of like a hero for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I just really like being a fan of her. She's one of those nice celebrities. Yeah, so like I used to really like being a fan of a lot of celebrities when I was younger, and some of that started with like Disney because Disney was what I watched mostly when I was a kid. I liked Nickelodeon as well, but then how Hollywood just likes to treat fans a lot. I didn't ever like being a fan of any celebrity again until like Gina Carano and a few others. I mean, like the actress who plays Wonder Woman, like even her, I went back and forth of being a fan of her. But,
Yeah. Gal Gadot.
yeah. I'm just not good at.
Larry sends in a $2 super chat and says, "Great to see Kayleigh from the younger rebellion."
Thank you.
Thank you so very, very much, Larry. You guys keep the fires of Valhalla burning bright, and we're gonna burn it down with some dragon fire. Do you want to do it with me, Kayleigh?
I'll just let you do it.
Okay. All right. Skull. So you got into The Mandalorian, and of course we all know what happened with Gina. And somebody asked me, where was it?
I forgot to mention though, but with The Mandalorian, at first I didn't even get to watch like every episode because since I would watch it with my brother, would watch it together, and there was just times I didn't get a chance to watch with him, so I didn't like finish the whole thing until I watched them again before like deleting the Disney Plus or
yeah. But you got to watch them and you liked them.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of people that at first didn't like The Mandalorian. They were like, nope, it's not going to be anything big. It's not going to be a good show. And I watched it. I watched it anyway. And
yeah, that's how I felt from the beginning. I was like going into it really thinking I was not going to like it.
But you did. You ended up liking it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember people saying, "Oh, well, the music isn't Star Wars," and I said that. I said the music isn't Star Wars, but I kind of get where it's going. It's just going to do its own thing, and it did do its own thing, and people liked it. I remember after a little while, people would be humming the theme song, da 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 da, and people were getting into it and liking it, and then we had, the end of that second season where Luke shows up and everybody went crazy. Everybody went crazy for Luke coming back. And then they fired Gina.
Yeah.
And Purple Valkyrie makes a good point. Fans were jaded after the sequel films. So you didn't like the sequels?
I don't think so. Like, those are the later ones, right?
Yep. Those are the last ones.
Yeah, I didn't like those.
No, I didn't either. I think a couple of people out there know that Loki didn't like the sequel films.
I mean, there was like one scene that Android, and I thought like, I don't remember which one. I think it was like either a scene in The Last Jedi or like the Rise of Skywalker or something, but it was like the scene where Kylo Ren was having a meltdown, and then the stormtroopers were like going over to him, but then they like slowly backed away. I actually thought that was funny.
Yeah, because he was having a temper tantrum. They were like, you ain't going over there. Nope. Absolutely not. And good morning to Gun Bunny. Good morning, Gun Bunny. Good morning, Kendra L. Good morning, everyone. And Kendra L says, Luke rocked. I loved how he was. He looked how he was in the Thrawn trilogy. Yes, absolutely, he did. So, are there other IPs that you like besides Star Wars, Lord of the Rings?
Well, I like the Hobbit series that's tied with the Lord of the Rings.
Yes, I'm going on an adventure.
Yeah.
What did you like about those?
I mean, I like that it was like that was tied with Lord of the Rings. My favorite characters were, well, I'm not gonna be able to really pronounce the one of the characters, but right, I need to think a little bit. Sorry.
It's okay. Sorry, I knew a super chat real quick. Psychodorf 9 with $5 super chat. The Luke moments got more play than the hub than Gina. Definite Pyrrhic victory. Yes, absolutely, Psychodorf 9. And thank you so very much, Psychodorf 9, for that $5 super chat. You guys keep the fires burning bright here in Valhalla, and we're going to throw some Spartans at you. Skull!
Spartans! What is your profession?
Thank you, guys.
Okay, so I remember what the names were. Well, actually looked it up because I was blanking on the names.
Okay.
So my favorites were Kayleigh and I really don't know how to pronounce her name, but the woman elf.
Arwen. Was it Arwen? No,
No,
it's not Arwen.
She
It's
was in Lord of the Rings. I'm like not good at pronouncing, but it's spelled T-U-R.
Toriel. Lady Toriel. Yes.
Yeah. That ending actually made me sad when Chili died.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of people, most of the dwarves don't make it.
Yeah.
They did a lot of.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. So that scene was like, I just kept thinking like, oh man, he should have just landed better with the sword. He could have got the guy in the head.
And Roger H with the $2 Canadian super chat says, "Hail, Kayleigh."
Thank you.
And thank you, Roger H. You guys keep the fires of Valhalla burning bright, and we're going to send some Vikings after you this morning. Skull! Vikings, those Vikings are crazy people. Louis Sparrow says, I love the first half of the Hobbit film. The first one, Louis, or like the whole series? Did you read the books, Kayleigh?
No, I didn't actually read the books because I just went straight into watching the films.
That's cool. That's cool. The first Lord of the Rings
not
book
good
is
at like reading the books if I.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I not like get into like jumping into reading the books after watching the film. With your games, I actually read the books first before watching the films. So I don't know how I do that. Where like if I read the books, I read them first, then watching the films, or if I watch the films first, then I don't really get into reading the books. I'm more of a visual learner anyways, so reading books I'm not as good at as remembering than like seeing it visually.
Gotcha. I when I read, I see everything. It's really weird sometimes to explain. I don't know whether that's because my imagination run wild or because I just can see it. I see it. So when I'm reading, it's almost like a movie in my head. Sometimes that's how it helps, is to think of it like a movie in your head.
Yeah. I don't know. I just it was always like that where I was a visual learner.
There was a really cool scene in the book. Purple brings up Goblin Town, how they sing the song in the extended version. There is a really cool scene where Gandalf.
I never even watched the extended versions.
Really, you should.
Yeah,
you should.
like yeah. I mean, I've heard a bit about them when I saw like reaction videos of people watching the series for the first time. They were watching the extended version, so I kind of saw a little bit through there, and I was like, "Damn, those are really funny, like funny scenes." But at least in the Lord of the Rings, I didn't really see the ones for the Hobbit.
Yeah, Project Storytime says, love the books, but it takes quite a while to get the story going. Almost half of the Fellowship is getting to the start of the journey to Mount Doom. Yeah, half of Lord of the Rings, the first book, the Fellowship, is spent with hobbits lost in the woods. That's how I used to explain it. You've got hobbits lost in the woods or camping, the first half of the book.
Yeah, and then also with the whole reading books, like especially big books like that, I sometimes have a hard time like pronouncing words. So a lot of times that gets me not wanting to really read books.
Oh, and there is a $4.99 from Mexican Iron Man who says, "Hail Miss Kayleigh, hail Loki. Greetings from the secret Sith base of Darth Poppy."
Thank you.
Me and Mexican Iron Man are doing a show every Saturday starting at 5 p.m. As a pre-show to Echo Base Network, where we are attacking Echo Base from secret Sith locations around the galaxy. Very Star Wars.
Nice.
Very Star Wars. And thank you so very much, Mexican Iron Man, for that $5 super chat. You guys keep the fires of Valhalla burning bright, and we're going to throw you $1 this morning. Skol!
$1? I've never seen $1. Nobody's got $1. Let us see the dollar. There it is. It's beautiful. Take your hat off, boy. That's $1 bill.
So you said you liked Kayleigh from The Hobbit. Of course, Gandalf returns again, because that was like how he met Bilbo. He went and got Bilbo from Hobbit to go on. I'm going on an adventure. Well, yeah, Gandalf's the one who went and got him. There are people that return in that movie. You've got of course, got Ian McKellen coming back and playing Gandalf. You have Andy Serkis, who comes back and plays Gollum. Kate Blanchett comes back and plays Galadriel, the elf Galadriel. Christopher Lee comes back and plays Saruman. So it's very much almost like a family affair. Hugo Weaving comes back and plays Elrond. No, I won't anybody forget about Elrond because he was one of my favorites. He was always one of my favorites. If I had to pick my favorite elf, it would be Elrond of Rivendell because he was so smart. He knew everything. I thought that was amazing. Oh, well, he knows how to read the map. Oh, that's so cool. He must know everything. He acts like he knows everything. Orlando Bloom is back as Legolas for some reason, Josh says.
Yeah, for Legolas, I thought it was funny when he actually ran out of arrows in The Hobbit.
Yeah, that never happened in Lord of the Rings. He always had arrows.
Yeah.
Yeah, he always had arrows in Lord of the Rings. So for him to run out of arrows, and I don't know if you know this or not, in The Hobbit, when he captures the dwarves, he has that locket, and he's like, "Who is this? Some kind of goblin monster?" And yeah, that's my wee lad Gimli. And he's just like, Well, of course he gets to go on an adventure with Gimli in Lord of the Rings. So,
yeah.
Arwen Avalon says Legolas is much more Gabby in the books. It's been a long time since I read those books. I've got like a giant book with The Hobbit. It's what they call the Big Red Book. They call it the Big Red Book because it looks like the Big Red Book that Bilbo and Frodo have in both movies. And it's got The Hobbit, and then it's got the Lord of the Rings book in it. But it is heavy. And I tried reading it once, and I was like, this is horrible. This is a giant, heavy book that you get tired of holding it. You're like, man, this is heavy. This is a huge book. It's got The Hobbit and all 3 Lord of the Rings books in it. So I think what I'm going to do is there's a set that you can go down and get that's got all 4 books. And they're not in like one big book. I think I'm going to go and get that and read them from that. But it's been a long time since I read the books. But that's a wonderful series. It's a wonderful series that Tolkien created.
Nice, yeah.
So what else interests Kayleigh? What else do you like? You like in Star Wars and Lord of the Rings? Anything else that you're like, man, I really like this?
Well, there was like these Disney shows that I watched that I really liked, but the cast now not so much.
Well, what were they?
So like there was this show called Wizardry Place that Selena Gomez was in, and I was actually looking forward to like a reboot because she kept like talking about it, and then there was like other cast members that wanted to do one, but then they like never did a reboot but of the show. But honestly, with how Hollywood does reboots of films, it probably wouldn't even be good anyway.
They have a track record of bombing them. It's true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They do. And MB Geek Let's Talk throws in a $5 super chat and says, a series I recommend is Saga of the Seven Sons. First half of the first book is the world building, and then it just never lets up after that. I love it. Well, thank you, MB Geek Let's Talk, for that $5 super chat and for that recommendation. You guys keep the fires of Valhalla burning bright, and we're going to give you a little Last Starfighter Skull. That is a lot of destruction. Snorted Poop Scuba says, I read The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, and The Silmarillion once a year, or listen to the audiobooks. And that might be something you might like, Kayleigh. The
Yeah,
audiobooks,
maybe.
there's some unabridged audiobooks out there that are very, very good, including Star Wars ones. I think I've got like 20 different Star Wars books on my phone. I also have a lot of the hardbacks on my bookshelf, but I like listening to the Phantom Doubleday audiobooks presents Star Wars. Anybody out there who's listened to the Star Wars audiobooks knows exactly what I'm talking about, because Phantom Doubleday did a lot of audiobooks for Star Wars.
What's the best way to listen to audiobooks?
Audible. I like Audible. I don't get paid by Amazon to say that. I've got an Audible membership where I get 2 credits. I get 2 credits a month. I think that costs me $15. Some of those audiobooks are anywhere from $20 to $30. And you spend your credits on the books you want, and you get 2 books a month. So that's 2 books to listen to for $15 a month. And you just get your membership, and you just got to remember to use your credits.
Nice.
But the Star Wars books are really fun. They have sound effects, they have music, all kinds of stuff like that.
That's cool. There was a book series that I really enjoyed reading though, and it was like one of the only like books that I read that I was like kind of like better at remembering, although I'm not good at remembering them now because I read like them in middle school, but didn't get to read the whole series because they didn't have all the books there, and there wasn't a bookstore that had them close to where I live, so it was like pretty far. And but the book series was the Skullduggery Pleasant. I love those books.
Oh, that's really cool. What was it called?
Skullduggery Pleasant.
Skullduggery Pleasant.
Yeah.
Cool. I will have to look them up. And check them out. Rob Thunderheart throws in a $20 Canadian super chat and says, Hail Stone Loki. Hail Kayleigh. Did you know there's a petition to name a building in Edmonton, Alberta, the Nathan Fillion Civilian Pavilion? Wow, that is a tongue twister. Seriously, watch Suicide Squad trailer as James Gunn react and rally support for it. I will, Rob Thunderheart. And thank you so very much for that $20 Canadian super chat. You guys keep the fires of Valhalla burning bright, and we are going to throw you some Star Wars here. Rob Thunderheart, Skull! I love that. I absolutely love that scene. And where is it? Louise Sparrow says Skullduggery Pleasant is a great series. I need to finish it, but the characters are really good. I have never heard of this.
Yeah, it's a great like mystery book, like kind of like, how do I describe that? Like a crime kind of book. I mean, I also like the Nancy Drew books, but that book series, the Skullduggery Pleasant, was like my favorite book series because I found that more entertaining. Drew books, but yeah, I love the crime books.
Purple Valkyrie asks, was Kayleigh ever a Harry Potter fan?
Yeah, I'm a fan of Harry Potter. To be honest, though, when watching Harry Potter, there were some scenes I got confused on, or at least at first. Watching it a few times, I got a better understanding of them. But yeah.
But who was your favorite character in that?
My favorite character in Harry Potter, I would have to say, is Harry Potter himself.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Who do you think mine would be? I was a big Harry Potter fan. Who do you think mine would be? Loki, Stone Loki. It was Snape. It was Snape. Snape was my favorite character.
Nice.
I always liked Snape, especially. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna just guess probably one of the villains, just because you get it, like a villain character.
Well, I saw the movies before I saw the books, and before I read the books. So I was in the middle of those movies. I was at Order of the Phoenix when someone ruined the movie for me in the movie theater. And I was very angry. I was very, very angry. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to read the books. I'm not going to let anyone else ruin any of this for me. I'm going to read the books. So after Order of the Phoenix, I read the books, and I don't know. I just always liked Snape. I always liked Snape. Even when I found out, oh, he's not a bad guy. I was really upset that he did what he did. And then I figured out why he did what he did. And I was like, okay, I totally get it. But the thing with him and Lily, and when he says, after, when Dumbledore says after all this time, and he says always, yeah, heck yeah, that's like the coolest thing in all of Harry Potter. When he pulls up his Patronus, and it's a doe. It's Lily's Patronus, and after all this time, always he always loved Lily. So that was always heartbreaking for me. I always liked Snape.
Yeah. Speaking of the whole somebody reading something for you, like for film, that's same thing that happened to me with the Hunger Games. Like, because I was reading the books in middle school, and I didn't get to like the third one yet when somebody read like the third book, or the film already came out by the time maybe. And I think I didn't, because I'm pretty sure I watched the third one in the movie theaters book before I did, and they like spoiled like some of what was gonna happen, and I was like, oh dang. It was like a part of knowing when like a character that dies, and that's Prim and stuff. I was like, that one was kind of frustrating. Knowing that at a time.
And Shockwave says, sorry, Loki, but Snape was nothing but a bullied kid that spread his own misery once he got the power. But he turned away from that. And he turned away from that because of his love for a girl. He could have been the jealous, stalkery, evil guy because James got her. But he didn't allow that to happen. When he found out that her kid was going to be taken out by Voldemort, he stepped up and he did something, and he did the right thing, and he worked with Dumbledore, and Dumbledore used him because Dumbledore had to use him because he had to win. But he tried to help because of his love for a girl, whether she loved him back like that or not. He took a stand. He didn't take a knee. So I always liked him because of that. He could have stayed with Voldemort because he hated James so much, and he could have taken that out on Lily, but he didn't do that.
The part that's kind of confusing to me is how he was able to play like what I'd say probably like devil's advocate of being partly on the good side and then partly on the bad side, and how the bad guys totally let that happen.
No, I agree. Hamlet Strategy 89 says, I want to take a shot at the Dune prequels. I started Hamlet Strategy 89. I started the prequels with House Atreides, and I really liked that book. I really did. There's a lot of cool stuff that was in there. Shockwave said only after his boss went back on his word and didn't spare her. Note, he didn't care that the boss was going to take out her kid. Yeah. But he did switch sides, and he did do the right thing at the end. That's the one thing he had that Voldemort didn't, was he loved someone. Whether he felt capable of being loved or not, he did love someone, and Voldemort couldn't do that. Purple Valkyrie, he was an excellent double agent. He even fooled Voldemort. That's right.
But there's some scenes where I was like, I would think the bad guys would have figured it out ahead of time. So I was like confused how they didn't know.
Oh, about Snape being a double agent?
Yeah.
Some of them did. What's her name? The crazy chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, she knew. She knew. She never once believed that Snape didn't sell them out. Mark the infinitely tired. I love you, brother, because I don't mind Kevin J. Anderson so much. He says I can't bring myself to read the Dune prequels because Kevin J. Anderson is attached to them, and I cannot stand his writing style. Actually, I don't mind him that much, but I understand he's not for everybody. I know people that will not read the Jedi Academy trilogy because he wrote it.
So with the whole thing with Snape, there was this part where I felt like, cause what is it called again? Like when like characters look into the bowl and they see like the past, but like it's not like always accurate. So then it was like, that's where when it came with Snape stuff, I was like, I didn't know if he just wanted Harry Potter to see some stuff and there might have been some kind of trick to it. So it was kind of where I was back and forth feeling like whether he was more of a good guy or more of a bad guy. I couldn't tell.
There was, you mentioned, the differences in the movies and the books. There's a scene that I was so angry they took out, and it was at the beginning of Deathly Hallows. In the book, there's a scene between Harry and his cousin, and basically his cousin tells his dad to shut up and leave Harry alone, and he's like, I'm really sorry, I treated you like crap all these years, and I didn't know what you were dealing with, and I apologize. And they cut that out of the movie. That's actually in a deleted scene. So they filmed that scene where they kind of, for the first time, his cousin realizes what he's been going through and apologizes and said, you know what, you're not bad. You're not that bad of a guy after all, Harry. And they have this kind of just like this thing that finally settles all the old crap that they used to do to each other. And I really like that in the book. When Dudley and Harry get to talk like that, I love that in the book. I was like, after all this crap they've done to each other, they finally are able to, be okay with each other. And Dudley admits he was a little shit.
Yeah.
But they cut that out of the movie, and I was always so angry they cut that out of the movie because that was like the best way they could have opened that book with that.
Yeah. I don't know, I guess since I didn't read the books, but so that total scene I could totally be okay with not that being there, even though now knowing about that. But,
Yeah, if you next time you pop the movie in, the Deathly Hallows Part 1, next time you pop the movie and look at the deleted scenes, because it's actually in there where they get to talk and just it's like they come together for the first time. And yeah, and Shockwave is correct. Dudley's redemption started after he encountered the Dementors. It was after he encountered the Dementors and he realized what a scary ass world Harry lives in, is when he's like, I was a little shit and I'm sorry. You saved my life. You didn't have to. After all the crap I did to you, after all the horrible things I did, you saved my life. And I am sorry for acting the way I've acted. And it was just this beautiful moment between Dudley and Harry. And when I first saw the movie, I was really upset. And then I found out they deleted that and it was in the deleted scenes. And I was even more upset. You don't delete that. You leave that in there. That is so important to Dudley and to Harry, because it's like for the first time, these two kids that are almost like brothers come together and see eye to eye and can be friends. They can be family. Harry losing his godfather, losing Sirius. That's the only family he had, and they treated him horribly. And all he really had besides them was the Weasleys. The Weasleys treated him like a son. The Weasleys treated Harry like they were his son. And that's the family he had.
Yeah. That scene where his godfather died, it was like, that was really sad because he'd just gotten like pretty much free from being like the guilty one. So then it was like he didn't even get to have that much time with Harry.
That's right. Project Storytime has a question for you. He asked, how does Kayleigh feel about all the pandering Hollywood is throwing at her generation?
I don't like it. Like, Hollywood is just being very, what would you call it? Deceiving, or...
Deceiving's a good word.
Yeah.
Deceitful. They're being very deceitful.
Yeah.
Do you think they're ever going to change?
I want to say they probably would, but honestly, I don't think so, because I don't know if they can go backwards into being better, because I guess there was a time when Hollywood wasn't really crappy.
Okay. Bettino Slant with $5 super chat says, Brother Loki, such a joy to listen to this stream this morning. When I saw that Kayleigh D was going to be on your show today, I knew I had to be here. So thank you so very much, Latino Slant. Thank you, Polly, for that $5 super chat. You guys keep the fires of Valhalla burning bright. And this one's just for you, Polly. Skål!
Long live the fighters!
Thank you so very much, everyone, for being here this morning and talking with Kayleigh D and myself. Kayleigh, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on here, and we're going to have to invite you on here again. We have to bring you back on here one day. I would love to have you on a panel, and if they, whenever they get Mandalorian going again, if I have lifted my embargo of Disney at that point, I would love to have you on to talk some Mandalorian someday.
Well, I'm not gonna watch more of the Mandalorian, but Yeah.
I didn't think so either. I really, I mean, they'd have to bring Gina back. They really would.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree. That's the only way. That's the only way I'd watch it is if they bring Gina back. And I don't think she's coming back, even if they offered it to her.
Yeah. I don't think so. I think one of her posts hinted that they already want her back, but she just said no. Like it's too late.
Too late, day late, dollar short. And Purple Valkyrie says, well done, Kayleigh. Great show. Arwen Avalon, thank you, Loki. And thank you, Kayleigh. Keely Chow, thank you for a great show. Snortopoogus Cuber says, take care, Human.
I forgot to mention, though, for the Star Wars stuff, like, I started watching that when I was, like, really young, too. But I think I watched the Lord of the Rings series first. Like, because I watched, like, Lord of the Rings, like, when I was, like, probably 3 years old. But I watched, like, Star Wars, like, pretty close to that. But, yeah.
And which one? Speaking of that, before we get out of here, which one is your favorite? Which one is your favorite Star Wars?
Well, besides the show, The Mandalorian, I would say the movies. Probably like one of the ones of Jar Jar Binks, because that was like my first favorite character. I really loved that character when I was a
Me's a Jar Jar Binks. Me's your humble servant. Oh wow. Jar Jar isn't as bad. Jar Jar isn't as bad as everybody makes him out to be. And Rod Thunderheart with $5 Canadian super chat. Keep the fires burning and bring Kayleigh back soon, Loki. Absolutely. Rod Thunderheart. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rod. And let's see, what do I have left? What do I have left in the you know what? We are going to what have I got left? But we're going to throw you some Romans. Little Roman Empire firing up the fires. Skol! And a lot of people love Empire Strikes Back. Do you know why I like Phantom Menace, the one with Jar Jar, Kayleigh?
No, I don't know why.
It has got one of my favorite Jedi of all time, Qui-Gon Jinn. Qui-Gon Jinn, as soon as I saw him, I was like, all right, that is a really cool Jedi, very intelligent, does not bend the knee to the Jedi High Council. He does what he does, and he speaks his mind, and he doesn't hold back. And I absolutely love that as Jedi. I loved it. I love the way Liam Neeson played Qui-Gon Jinn. I really do.
Nice.
So, guys, we are getting out of it. Go ahead.
All right. I love like all those like different creature characters. Like, if that's the best kind of wording to say, I don't know. But I like Chewbacca a lot. The Ewoks and all them.
I love the Ewoks. People don't usually like the Ewoks, but I love the Ewoks. Yeah,
they Absolutely. look like little teddy bears that you just want to hug.
And they eat stormtroopers. Yes. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Where do you think they got the helmets from? I absolutely agree. Yub Nub. Yub Nub. Let's get some Yub Nubs out there and chats on our way out of here. Yub Nub. Everybody. Yub Nub, Kayleigh. And we're going to get out of here. Guys, Purple Valkyrie is coming up in little
thank
over
you for
an hour.
having me.
Oh, thank you, Kayleigh. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. You know, don't thank me. Thank you, because you have added my content. You have come in this morning and been an absolutely wonderful guest and added to this series as a whole, Women of the Fandom. So thank you for coming on here and being a guest on my show. Thank you, Kayleigh.
You're welcome.
Everybody, I hope you have a great Wednesday. Purple Valkyrie is coming up in a little over an hour, and we are going to have a game stream tonight at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Do not be late for that. We are going to be playing Final Fantasy IV Part 2, the Ultimate Edition on PSP. So thank you guys so very much for being here. You all keep the fires of Valhalla burning bright. Kayleigh, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Everyone, have a great one, and we will catch you all next time.
Have a good one, everyone, and I'm going to try to watch those streams.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.